Hey YouTubers, this is my 175th YouTube video. I don't know, I really don't. Is that accurate? I don't know. I was having a really interesting conversation with somebody today about ratios. I made a video about this a while ago. Let me know if this even interests you guys. You probably just close your brain to this and think, well, why is this important? It's interesting how everything's relative. Space and time is relative. You hear that comment all the time, but it's relative in the same way, if that makes sense. So we got 24 hours in a day, right? Night and day make 24 hours. But then a year is approximately 360 days. So it's like a 365, right? So 360 degrees in a circle, 24 hours in a day. If you take 360, so every degree times that one spin on its axis, you get 8,640. I think that's right. Here, hold on. I got to check. I'm in the middle of making a video, so I mean, you guys will give me a break, right? If I have to check that. 24 times 360. Oops. I messed it up. Equals 8,640. Right. Yeah. So that ratio, find out that ratio shows up in a lot of different spots. So you're spinning on a base 12. That's the day. That's a cycle. And then the annual cycle that's on top of that cycle turns into 8640. Where else does that number show up? Well, it just so happens it shows up in the ratio of the sun to the size of the field around it, or the extremities of the Kuiper belt. So our solar system, or the extremities of our solar system, when you go all the way out to the end of it, the field, the Kuiper belt, which is the end, it's way past Pluto, way out there. 8,640 times the diameter of the sun. Isn't that interesting? Not only that, but it's also the ratio. So now let's go to a bigger scale. If we're thinking about that, our solar system spins on its axis once every 24,000 years. Now, how can I say that? Well, we know that because of the precession of the equinox, right? The Earth's axis, or its relative, our whole solar system, when you look at, if you points at a different constellation every 2,000 years, right? We're moving from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. It took 2,000 years to move through the age of Pisces. We're right on the cusp of Pisces Aquarius. So moving forward, we're going to be in the age of Aquarius for the next 2,000 years. 24,000 year cycle, right? To go all the way through all of them. 12 times 2. So if we look at it from a higher perspective, and our solar system is spinning on its axis as it's moving around the galactic equator every 24,000 years. It's still a base, relative, it's 24,000 years, and the only reason it's 24,000 years is it's relative to the Earth's 360 degree cycle around the sun. So the 24,000 year measurement is relative to the Earth's rotation around the sun. So the orbital body that's orbiting this thing is measured in a 24 cycle to the thing that's spinning inside of this other thing. Right? Isn't that interesting? And then if we take that times 360 or times 8640, that grand ratio, when you take 360 times 24, we get approximately 210 to 220 million years, which is how long they've estimated that it takes our galaxy, or our solar system, to move around the galactic center. All the same ratios, but basically everything is relative. So the 360 to 24 kind of flop back and forth depending if you're measuring something's rotational times versus its orbital times around the thing it's orbiting. We are orbiting around the Earth, right? 24 hours. Interesting. And then within the hour, it's broken up into 60, or like 360. You could say it's 360. So, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with all this, other than time and space are relative. I'll let you guys come to your own conclusions. That all of that, when you break down time and space, it all collapses to the 0 point, which is what we figured out. And that time and space are an illusion for that reason, because it's all relative. Because as soon as you look at something, the size of something is relative to its vibrational rate, if that makes sense, or its breath rate. Think about animals and their heart rate. The bigger the animal, the slower the heart rate. But that's only relative between me and you and that thing, right? If I was a gray whale, does it feel like my heart rate is that slow? Probably not. Probably feel totally normal. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. I'm just so much bigger that everything else is looking like all the small stuff is moving way faster. Like, right? A whale looking at a person is moving much faster, just like us looking at a bumblebee or an atom. When an atom is 100 trillion times smaller, so it's going to move 100 trillion times faster. That's actually what creates the stacked reality that we have, to make sure that that everything just doesn't collapse to zero, right? You have to create a breath rate relative to size and space, which creates time. So the number of times creates the resistance to space, if that makes sense, right? Otherwise, it all collapses in on itself if it didn't switch from positive to negative back and forth. You guys understand that? I breathe in. I breathe out. And actually, the first action is breathing out. Say, well, how do you do that, right? Well, one cell becomes two cells. So it starts with one cell, right? Conception, two people merge, become one cell, and then that cell divides and then replicates from itself. So we're always creating from ourselves our own state of being. If we're in a negative state of being, then we're creating negativity in our environment. If we're in a positive state of being, we're creating positivity in our environment. We naturally, and that's how we're breathing normally, right? We want to breathe normally. You breathe positivity out, because this is from here up is our creative circuit. That's our positive circuit. And then we receive naturally in our negative circuit. That's our attractive circuit, right? It's negative. It's pulling towards us. Law of attraction. Law of attraction falls short in that way. That it's actually the law of creation first, because what you create is what you attract. So when they talk about the law of attraction, you have to think about the law of creation first. What are you creating? Yeah. But before that is nothing. Is the 0 point. And what I have learned, and that is actually our comfort home. That's where we're all at home, right? Is at the 0 point, where we're no longer. Take enough time out of your day to get to the 0 point, so that when you can start at the 0 point, you can be consciously aware of that positive action. Without the ability to get to the 0 point and being able to be at perfect rest and perfect silence, you won't be able to control the direction of which direction you go. There's lots of mindset coaches, and I'm curious to see how well the mindset coaches really understand that. You can try and think positivity all day, but until you can get to a place where you can reach the 0 point at will and stay there, you won't be able to control what comes from that state. So that's the ultimate healing of the body and mind, right? Being able to stay in the 0 point, just right, and then everything goes. Oh, from there is good. No matter which, as long as you're controlling it, right? And then it's all good. It is all good because it's all learning to get back to that and staying ignorant of the outcome. Because then when you're always at the 0 state, you're always you accept the fact that any creative event is possible. Anything. It's all happening right now. This video is happening right now for you if you're watching it, right? So once, and this is actually a breakthrough in consciousness that I had this year. Once you accept your own ignorance and realize that as long as you're always a part of the whole, you're whole, you are whole and in part at the same time, right? And so accepting your wholeness and your impartness really means that the only way for you to get what somebody else needs in the moment is to use your intuitive receptivity to whatever they need. Because I don't know, I am ignorant of what you may need. But we are all members of the same body. The only way for me to provide what you need is to accept my own ignorance of what I think you need and allow my higher self to channel what you need intuitively and intellectually, both emotionally and intellectually. Because I'm going to speak to you and tell you how much I love you. But at the same time, you have to feel like I do too, right? And help you understand that you don't need any external love other than the love for yourself at the 0 point. I hope this video is beneficial for all of you, as it is beneficial for me to express myself to you. I love you guys. So, is there another message that you need to hear today? Probably not. I'm not going to pull cards today. I'm not going to do any such thing other than maybe there's somebody that needed to hear this so that eventually we will all accept our ignorance and play like children again together and create things together and accept the fact that tomorrow is tomorrow. Why worry about it at all? It has nothing to do with today or right now. The only thing that I want to do is spend time with you right now and look into your eyes and tell you how much I love you and go play together and create what we want to create together. So, love you. Have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you on the next one.